What's going on, everybody? It's ShamefulPenguin here, back with another video. Today we're going to be getting into Lira Arthain breach farming for splinters and breach stones, and this is a really fun method of farming, and I'm going to be going over pretty much everything about it. Just a big introduction on what you should be looking for, what returns you can expect, what you can expect as a return of splinters, where you can expect a return of like how much money you're making per map and all that kind of stuff. I made little spreadsheets and stuff, so I'm going to show you guys all that later on once we get to that point. But yeah, breach farming is really fun, and you're going to need to get some Watchstones to make sure this strategy is more worth it. And the earlier you are in the league, breach farming is going to be way more profitable, because breach stones are way more profitable early on in the league, and then they kind of deteriorate as there's like more and more in the market. They do keep their value because of the way Maven invitations work. You can farm all the breach lords and then do the Maven invitation and keep doing that, so they do keep their value now that we have that strategy. So this is a viable way to farm in case you don't get Chayula to spawn every single time. And we don't actually go for Chayula. We do a little bit, but yeah, I'll get into that stuff when we get there. And yeah. So the first thing I wanted to go over is the Atlas passives I went for. So of course I'm going for PoE weakness and Flash Breach. Flash Breach is the reason we take this, because you get additional rare monsters, of course, and it is noticeable. And then the opening and closing faster is actually really good, because it makes it so you take less time up in your map, so it's like more efficient time wise to clear the breaches. So these nodes are really good, and they're of course can be taken. Now I went with the blight encounter route, so I can get blighted maps. You do get a decent amount of blighted maps. I do suggest going this route because blighted maps are worth a pretty penny this league, and blight are actually worth running in maps. Go figure. So you could also go the smuggler caches route. This does get you a lot of blueprints and fully revealed blueprints, and you can try to sell those. I didn't want to have to deal with trying to sell fully revealed blueprints for like higher amount, and I don't really run heist, so this wasn't really worth it for me. Einhar is another choice you can take, but I don't think it's as good as the other area for Einhar. I believe it's Turn's End. Yeah, I think Great Migration is better for farming Einhar, so I went with that area instead. But yeah, I believe Blight's the second best choice, other than of course Breach. So that's what I ran with. And as for the Watchstones themselves, you're gonna want to have breaches in areas have a % increased chance to belong to, and then it's gonna name whatever one. So I went with Ultimatum because it is more consistent. I looked into it a little bit before I did this on which one I should do. I was obviously thinking I should go Chayula, but I ended up going Ultimatum because it seems more consistent with the higher percentage chance to spawn naturally, and then you're increasing it. So say Ultimatum has like a 15% chance to spawn. So I'm increasing that 15% by 87%, and then another 86%, and then that one's Chayula, and then a 45%. So it's like multiplying the percentage chance. Now Chayula, the problem with that is that Chayula only has like a 5 to 10% chance to spawn. It's pretty small. So even if you increase it by 400%, it's still only going to be like 20% chance to spawn, which is actually really good because Chayula is very much worth the most. So you can like take that gamble, and if you get a bunch of them to spawn, you're making your money. But Ultimatum times 400% is a really high percent. I believe it would be around like 60% if you got, assuming you got 100% chance on Ultimatum on all four of them. It would be like 60-70% of the time would be Ultimatum, which is pretty crazy. So it'd be pretty profitable in that and pretty consistent. But Chayula is kind of like the gamble. Do you want to make a lot of money? We'll try it out. Each of these Watchstones will cost you a little bit. You're going to say around 60C. I bought 2 of them for 60, and I rolled 2 of them myself. Chayula, how much was Chayula going to cost you? Around a little more, maybe 70, 80. What about a 65? Or yeah, so I'm going to say 100C. each for if you're going to do all 4 Chayula, so that's 400C, and around 60C for the Ultimatum ones. And obviously you want to get the highest percent you can. You can divine them. So if you get 66% and then you divine it, you'll be pretty good. Oh, I actually hit, it has to be 66. Is that more? Yeah, it's still a little over 100. So it's going to be like 400 to 500. So yeah, that's a lot of money to invest in Watchstones. But remember, you could always sell, like once you're done with this and you're like, I don't want to do this method anymore, just take them out and sell them. And you pretty much make your profit back. So it's an investment, but it's not, it's always, you can sell back for just as much, unless you're like very early in the league, obviously. So these are the returns I've got from all my maps, and each of these maps were ran with, do I have any left over? I might have ran every single one. So I ran them with rusted breach scarab. So I have one gilded left because I just found it apparently, but I ran it with one rusted breach scarab. And then you run one map. So I'll just pull out any map because I'm not going to actually run it. So I'd put these 2 in here. You can put any other scarabs in here, but I did this for consistency, just these 2. And every single time you're going to run a breach craft on the map device. I couldn't think of the word. I didn't run any masters. So it was kind of just random draw if they would spawn. I just wanted to keep it a little more consistent. I did have Maven on, and I rotated some of the maps. I didn't run the same map every time. We'll get into that after. But I did this for consistency, so it cost 2C to do this, 1C for a rusted breach scarab, and then maps are around like 5 to 7C on average. So you could say it's about 10C per run, you could say. So 10C per map, and we'll get into the spreadsheet a little bit actually. So I have this little spreadsheet I made. So this is the cost per map for all my maps. So chisels, it'll cost you, a chisel is about 1/4 of a C. So I just times it by 4, so that's 1C per, and then I just multiplied it by the amount of maps I ran. Maps where I ran around 6C on average because I was running different maps. I was running what I picked up most of the time. Re-rolling the maps, so scour alking it is about 1/2 a C, a little more maybe. Running the scarab is 1C, and the map device is 2C. So you're spending on 50 maps about 525C to run 50 of them. So it's almost about 10, a little over 10C per map for re-rolling and everything. So that's what your investment is going to look into. You could also include the 400C from buying all the perfect Watchstones for Ulnatul or Chayula or whatever. You can say around it's 400 if you wanted to. So it's like almost 1,000C investment if you want to get it perfect, and that's quite a bit for newer players. You don't have to buy all the Watchstones immediately, and you don't need to buy all of the maps immediately. You can just buy them one at a time and keep on going with the profits you're making, and that's the way to do it. But if you want to be one of those people who just like set up your atlas and you're gonna run it like that, that's what you can do. So anything else to run before? No, we'll just get into this. So I ran 50 maps. So we're guaranteed 2 breaches, and sometimes you'll get 3 breaches because the map device adds 1, the scarab adds 1, and then you have about a 20% chance to get an extra. So we can see actually if we add all this up, 220% means that we got about 2.2 breaches per map. So we had a 20% chance to get a 3rd breach on our maps. So it's pretty, it was pretty on the money. How much does the thing say? So we have a 10% chance to spawn, and I believe it has like an 8% natural chance or something like that. So math is almost correct. So we're a little lucky. And then the breach lords, I probably missed a few breach lords, but we barely got any breach lords to spawn, so it wasn't really like it was really low percentage chance to spawn. And then I counted how many splinters I got dropped, and then I multiplied them by the price and I summed it. So most of our money actually came from Chayula breaches, so which was pretty funny, even though we got like way less. only spawn 22% of the time out of our maps. So you can half each one of these basically. And that it's like 11% chance to spawn, 27% chance to spawn, etc., etc. But yeah, most of the money was Triula still, even though it was like by far the lowest amount. So if I were to redo this method, I might try investing all my Watchstones into Triula at the current state. But Ultimatum had some pretty decent money refund, and it was pretty consistent, so I liked it a lot. And the other reason I went with Ultimatum is because the unique drops, so you can get the shield, I believe it's called like the Reckoning or something like that. That shield's worth a decent amount, and you can get some pretty good unique drops from Ultimatum, so that's also worth it. I didn't get any of the big drops. I think I just got the boots a few times. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the maps now. So I kind of made a rating, a tier list for the maps. So we'll go up so we can see them all. I didn't really like hard stick on any of the maps because the maps, in my opinion, weren't as good as like other areas. So like, the one I ran the most was Precinct because it has Saint's Treasure to drop and it's like a okay layout. So I went with Precinct a lot. Another one I really liked was Castle Ruins because it's pretty open. The only things that are annoying are like the little castles, so you have to like swiggle in and out of them, but it's pretty open. So this is one of my favorite ones. Marshes was really good because it's pretty open. Sometimes you get unlucky. It has a more like, it's like a circle, bridge, circle, bridge, circle kind of layout. So you can get unlucky because it has more chances to spawn on the corners, but you can get the Pride Before the Fall map to drop. So that's pretty worth it. And the last one I ran a lot of was Lighthouse and Shipyard. They're all just pretty much open. You can get Patient to drop from Lighthouse, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, Lighthouse, Shipyard, Precinct, Castle Ruins, and Marshes. Those are my three favorite, I would have to say. So yeah, I guess I'll just highlight. Oh, that makes it a weird thing. But yeah, these 5 are my favorite. You can run whatever you get. Just run whatever you get dropped. Don't worry about buying them because all of these cost between 6 to like 8C to buy per, and just run what you get dropped, honestly, and you'll make your money. I mean, honestly, if you get Toxic Sewers to drop, I would still run it. Maybe not a Gilded Breached Scarab, maybe just a Rusted one for that one, but yeah, you'll still make your money back, definitely. All right, now we're going to get into the returns from all of our 50 runs. And a lot of the currency, honestly, is like map returns. A lot of the money you're going to get back is map returns. You're going to sustain the amount you pay to run the maps through just getting breach splinters and everything. So that's pretty awesome as well. I need to refresh this because I did just use all of my div cards because the like Reign of Chaos and stuff like that are calculated pretty awful in Excellent Next. Like each Reign of Chaos was estimated to be 1 chaos per div card, which is obviously wrong. It's an 1/8. So I used pretty much all of those div cards. We did get some good ones. We did get a Patient. We did get a Saint's Treasure, and I believe we got one more, but maybe it's cheaper than those. So those, some decent div cards. So if you run obviously those maps consistently, you're gonna get higher drop rates than me. But yeah, most of our money was from raw Exalt drops, which I got pretty lucky. I got 2 of them. Neither of them were from Ultimatums, so that's pretty crazy as well. Trial Breachstone, of course, worth like an Exalt each. Ultimatum, raw chaos mostly. Like, run your Ultimatums in your maps, honestly, guys. You just get so much raw chaos and raw currency to drop from Ultimatums. It's unfair. We got a ton of Canyon maps. I favor Canyon because it's one of my favorite maps to run, and you can actually resell Canyon for quite a bit. So it's like 8. So I have 10 of them now, so I can bulk sell them for like 9-10C each, make a bunch of money off that. So make sure you're favoring either your favorite maps or the most expensive map in the zone, because you can easily resell it. Like Park, I don't really like running Park, but it always sells for a decent amount. So you can favor Park and stuff like that. Tropical Island's usually pretty good. I don't know, I thought it would be a little more, but yeah, our returns are pretty decent. It's a lot of maps and just raw currency, so it's pretty good. But yeah, overall on our spreadsheet, sorry for the flashbang, yeah, we do make about 520 back from my 50 runs, and it was about 525 cost for the 50 map. So we did pretty much make our money back. So if we take away all the splinters from all the maps, it's just pretty much the rest of it's raw profit, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys like these kind of videos. I enjoy making these because I can just like farm up and make a character, level them up while I'm doing things, think about how I can run maps better and more efficient in my mind, and then I just kind of run with it, and I can just make more content for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope to see you guys on the next video. Later.